All. My name is Stephen Gilson, and I want to welcome you to SWK 380, the Biological Person and the Environment for Fall 2018. What I want to do with this video is briefly introduce you to myself, a little bit about the course, in terms of I'll briefly review the syllabus, some of the logistics about how to operate and navigate through it, as well as, since we're using Blackboard, some key points about the utilization of Blackboard for our course. For many of us, Blackboard at times creates some GURs. It does for me as well, but it's a relatively easy system to navigate once you get the hang of it. If you have problems in terms of navigating Blackboard, where the links are, how to make it work in terms of technological questions, I urge you to contact UMaine Online. Let me get to that in just a little bit. What I'd like to do right now is run through the layout of our Blackboard folder, where some of the links are, what some of the meaning of them are, and then ultimately move on to a brief and quick overview of our syllabus, the readings, assignments, what might be your expectations for the course. So if you open up Blackboard, our folder, what you'll see, in addition to the first page was the announcements page, after that is you'll see a link for the syllabus. That's where our syllabus will be, or is located for this particular semester. You can download to your computer so that you have a copy on your hard drive, or if you leave it there, you can open it up and that's where it'll be. If there happen to be any changes whatsoever in terms of additions for reading, adjustments or modifications in our syllabus, I will make an announcement and post that on the announcements page. So one of the ways to make sure that you stay current with any adjustment, changes, modifications in our course is check in terms of regularly with the announcements or open up Blackboard and see what's happening there. That brings me to the notion of our class is an asynchronous online course. So all of the material will be presented online in an asynchronous manner. What that means for you is there's not a particular day of the week or time of day for you to log on and participate in the class. So you can participate, log on and read the material, listen to the material at 3 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, Tuesday, whatever it might work for you. In terms of the timing of our class, however, I will be posting our lectures. Typically, it'll be a PowerPoint with an MP3 file, usually Sunday p.m. And then you have an assignment that is usually due on Sundays by 5 p.m. That's assignment number 1. I'll review the assignments in just a minute. Assignment number 2, which is due on Tuesday, and assignment number 3, which is due on Thursday. Those links are all on our Blackboard line. So if you open up Blackboard and look at the control page, you'll see that. The link after the syllabus is where the readings are. Now this is where I have located the Gilson and DePoy reading, and any additional PDF files will be located there. If there are other files for you that you need to access for our course, such as a video, and there are a couple of those from time to time, those will be listed by a URL, and those are on the course syllabus itself under the schedule. Following that, if you go to the major heading of lessons and activities, you'll see a link for weekly sessions and agendas. That's where every week, typically Sunday evening, Sunday p.m., is where I'll post our PowerPoint, the MP3 file, and the agenda. The agenda really speaks to and lays out what were the assigned readings, videos for you for that week in order to prepare. So if you look at the syllabus, what you'll see is, say as example, the first week is a little unusual. So let's move on to week number 2, which is the September 10th, and what you'll see there, September 10th, session 2, we're going to be covering the nervous system. So by Sunday, the 9th of September, by 5 p.m., you need to have read Cohen's chapter 9 and 10 and provide a brief assignment number 1 summary overview of the reading questions that you have to the assignment number 1 link on Blackboard. Now, because week 1 is unusual, we're beginning on a Tuesday, your assignments are due in a slightly different order. Your reading for this week, because we will cover Cohen and Gilson and DePoy, I'll post those readings this coming Sunday. Your overview of those readings is due to assignment number 1 by Thursday, uh, the 6th of September by 5 p.m., and then you have assignments 2 and 3, which will be posting by that weekend. Again, that's just for the first week. Following that, every week, assignment number 1 is due on Sunday by 5 p.m. Now, in terms of assignment number 1, it is a brief kind of overview, questions that you might have if there are multiple chapters assigned or there are readings and videos. You need to do a write-up on each one of the assigned readings or videos. You can do that in terms of separate paragraphs or do that in terms of one longer narrative. For that, really what I'm looking for is your grasp of the information, what you understand of the information, if you have questions about the information. Now, in terms of my response to that, I will use that information as a way of figuring out and helping determine better what needs to be in our lecture for Sunday evening. So if there's questions, areas you didn't understand, that's a place for me to identify. Unless you ask specifically, I will not be responding to you about your writing. If you want me to, I'll be more than happy to, but I use these in aggregate. Now, in terms of how they are graded, they're graded on 2 things. One, are they published to assignment number 1 link on time, so by 5 p.m. Sunday, and are they thorough and complete? Given that you have those 2 issues met, then you get full credit. So I'm not really looking for a correct answer, but a thorough and complete answer. So if you have questions about are you writing enough, is this clear enough, feel free to send me an email. I'll be more than happy to provide that clarification. The other assignments that occur each week are assignments number 2 and 3. So if you look at the course syllabus, what you'll see is assignment number 2 is part of my lecture that I post on Sunday. Usually at the very end, there's going to be an IGQ, or an instructor guided question. Assignment number 2 is your response to that question or those questions as they might be. Now, one thing you'll also notice when you click on that is I have arbitrarily put you into study groups. And so there's study groups of 5 people. The intention behind the study groups is that they operate much like an in-class group that you say you would break off during the middle of a lecture and go practice an activity. This study group is intended to allow you the opportunity for dialogue back and forth. So every member of your study group is going to be posting their assignment number 2 to that location. After you have posted your assignment number 2 responses, within a day, then please read everybody in your group's posting, and then provide them feedback, comments, commentary, and more indifferent than just, I like what you said, or I agreed with what you said, or disagreed, but why you like it. What was it about their writing that helped provide greater clarification or response to the issue? Are there areas you disagree, and why? Again, think of those as a way of engaging in dialogue and understanding the material and looking at the material through more lenses than just through the lens that I provide, but you're having the lens of your other classmates. So every week you have assignment number 1 due, and that's due on Sunday. Assignment number 2 is due on Tuesday. Assignment number 3 is due on Thursday. Those are your weekly assignments. We will have additional assignments throughout the semester. Again, if you look back to the course syllabus, and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll see where the assignments are listed. Assignment number 4, periodically during the semester we'll have some quizzes, some self-assessment quizzes. Those are quizzes that typically will have 5 to 10 questions related to the material that you have read, as a way for you to make sure you are understanding the material, grasping the material that we have felt is important for us to understand as social workers looking at biology. We will also have, and we'll come back to this later on in a couple of weeks, an electronic presentation that's a small group presentation. You will sometime during the semester select who you want to be a group member of. If you look at the topics there, I'm asking you one within this electronic presentation, to select one of the systems that we cover this semester in our co-in-text, and then select one of the populations and do an overview of the link between how you understand that population and physiology and biology. Let's come back to that because that may be a little overwhelming at this point in time to provide some clarification. Later on in the semester, usually around week 7 or 8, we'll have our midterm, and then during finals week, our final exam. So in terms of the assignments, those are assignments for the semester. Now the bulk of our reading for this semester are going to come from our textbook. It's the Cohen text, so you need to get that as soon as possible. That's going to review the variety of systems. In terms of, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of what is due to be read, example, the September 10th, you should have read the nervous system, the 2 chapters there. For September 17th, there are some readings that are kind of almost a so what kind of reading. How do we apply this information about the nervous system to our understanding of human behavior, human experiences? So what we'll do is, one week we'll explore the system in greater depth. The following week we'll explore the so, or how do we apply this information to the areas of professions that we're going to do. So those readings, which are there on links that week for September 17th, you won't find those in the readings and resource section of Blackboard, but if you just click on that link, and that will take you to that information. And that's going to follow throughout the rest of the semester. So we'll have that for each particular week as we move through the semester. Now, let's go back to Blackboard just a little bit. If you see on the links in the control panel, you'll see where you publish assignment number 1, assignment number 2 and 3. In a couple of days, a week or so, the link for the self-assessment quizzes will show. Later in the semester, we'll open up the link for the presentation, as well as the midterm and final exam. Other important links for you here are if you want to get in contact with me, there's a number of things that we can do. One, there's a Contact Professor Gilson link there. If you click on that, you can then write an email that will come to me. And so if you have any questions about the course, want some greater clarification, that's a good way to contact me. We can also set up a time if you want to do a video chat. And so we have a link on there as well in terms of virtual meeting space. And how we operate that is you and I select a time that we can mutually agree that works. I'm available in evenings, weekends, whatever. This is a time for you to ask clarification, want questions, want to meet with me about our class. We could set that up. You send a link to me, I send a link to you. We click on it and we can see each other face to face. Other links on there is a link to folder library, so you can go directly to folder library as you're doing your research for this particular course. Additional, in terms of, I mentioned in terms of Blackboard can at times make us grr. With that said, I would suggest that you pay particular attention to the support contacts and the UMaine online support. If you have difficulty operating Blackboard at all, those are going to be the key saving points for you in terms of helping to make this course work for you. The final link on there that I bring your attention to, if you want to communicate to your classmates, to other people in the class, particularly later in the semester when I identify that we're going to need to form small groups. One way to send an email to your classmates and find out if they might be interested in working around individuals with low vision is to click there, and that's going to allow you to send an email to everybody in the class, give them your email, they can write back to you. Again, Blackboard is relatively straightforward once you get into it. It can be intimidating at times, but don't be overwhelmed by it. Again, if you have questions, get in touch with UMaine Online. They're going to be your source for that technology. If when you go through our course syllabus, if there's a link that's not working, it's broken, those types of issues, those are issues for me to address. So send me an email, and at that point in time, I can either find a corrected link, find a new reading, and we can go from there. At any rate, that's a relatively quick rundown and overview of Blackboard, our syllabus, and what you might expect. In a few minutes, I'll be creating our PowerPoint lecture with an MP3 file. I look forward to this semester. It should be exciting. I've selected, I think, some interesting readings to not only understand human biology, but for us, since this is not a pure science class, although we need to understand biology, but it's the bigger picture of the so what. How can we provide an understanding of the link between our need to know this information and the world around us? Take care and welcome to our semester.